Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another District Gooner Pod. Us, your two favorite DC Gooners.
Howdy, it's your boy Steven and KP. And on a twist on today's episode, I'm sitting here at home and we got KP in the hotel. Where we at today?
I am out here, dude, in Chicago. This is my first hotel podcast, so I know you're usually the one in the hotel rooms, but it's kind of fun, dude. I'm starting to see the vibe. This is the first time I'm in Chicago, and the weather doesn't suck. So I'm very excited about seeing the city actually this week. And shout out to the Midwest, dude. Shout out to the Midwest. Shout out to anyone who's joining us for the first time. Welcome, everybody. We got a lot to chat about. How are your vibes?
Oh, good. It's Monday after the Derby. 1-0. We watched the game together yesterday. So all the listeners, KP was in DC, watched the game together, which is always fun, especially for a big one. 1-0 to the Arsenal, baby.
Heard it here first, dude. It's either 3-2 or it's 1-0. And you can take that to the fucking bank, man. If you're a Tottenham fan, how are you feeling today? Because as an Arsenal supporter, my vibes are through the roof.
Absolutely awful. I was thinking that after the game. It's like, imagine you're a Tottenham fan. Captain is out, Odegaard. Declan Rice is out, the $100 million man. Like, we got this in the bag, right? Big Ange? What's he cooking? And they come out and lose 1-0 to a corner goal again. They knew corners were going to happen, and they happened again. So, yeah, I'd be absolutely sick. I mean, I guess let's do big picture. What you take away from the game? I'll say I kind of like the game plan. I think we went in there knowing what they're about, put out a team that was going to represent basically our values, what we wanted to put out there. Was it the cleanest game from us? No, absolutely not. But we had our moments during the game, 100%. And then the big moment on the corner, KP called it. I want to say the crowd felt it when the corners were coming. Like, it just had this sense, this build up to it. Bang, big header. So yeah, it's a good day.
It was a big header, dude. Can you just really quickly remind everyone who will be Arsenal's top defensive goal scorer this season?
Big GABI. Big man.
Big man. Showed up, dude. What is it? It's like his second Derby man of the match performance.
Yeah, he's cold. He's cold with it. He put up a story last night on his Instagram. Like, that's cold. So from last season to this season, 2 in a row. I mean, it's the away game too, right? You hear stuff about Romero being the top center back. The Spurs think he's a top center back in the league. And we got Saliba, so like but no, big man says, what about me? Put my name. My name's in the history books twice now, baby.
Twice now, dude. We'll have to chat about the center back pairing. Let me share with you my biggest takeaway. And it starts with a simple question, Steven. Where are all the Edu out people? Where did they go?
Good one. It's a good question.
What was their Sunday afternoon like?
It's a good question.
Did they have fun with it? Did they enjoy that? Because if you look at that performance, you look at the squad, and then you ask yourself, well, where's the depth? Where's Arsenal's depth, right? Zinchenko was out of the lineup. That was a shocker to me. Calafiori fully out of the lineup. That was a shocker to me. I did not realize the injury was that bad, dude. Showed up like that with a double pivot of J20 and TP5, dude. Like, was that not our depth on display? Bringing on Sterling and Jesus in the 80th minute? Is that not the depth that Edu's got the pieces, bro? Like, what am I looking at? What are you looking at? What am I missing?
I love that. That's a great take. There was so much worry before the game, and I don't know about you, but I mean, I guess we said on the last pod, like, I don't think either of us were feeling like a type of way, like feeling sorry for ourselves, or like in the dumps about it. Like, it's kind of like, this is a moment for us to show who we are, the players that want to be playing, like, your quality, right? We have quality players. So to your point, it's like, yeah, it's Declan Rice, Odegaard, 2 dogs on the team out. We swapped in who we have, and we still had Jesus and Sterling coming off the bench. Like, that was exciting. Like, if we had gone down, it is cool. Like, we had two big guys basically coming on. The rest of the bench looked light. absolutely light. And I'm not going to hate on that because it looked really light. But, I mean, when you got so many injuries, you just named what? We have 3 people out for injury. Then you have Declan Rice with a red card. That's 4. They would have filled out the team sheet. So big things. Edu cooked, man. He cooked.
I think so too, dude. I mean, there's still a lot to go, and we'll find out a lot more. But I will say, before the match, yeah, I think when you and I got coffee before the match and walked the pups, I told you, you know what? Just don't lose today. I'd be happy with a point today, and gave him a little smash and grab. I think to be fair, look, the first 20 minutes or so, we were totally out of it. It seemed like we were under pressure, and early on, David Raya was putting his name out there for man of the match.
100%. Straight off the bat, Raya was big. I think he had a 5th minute save, and then he had a save right after that where he parried it wide. That was kind of probably his biggest moment. But even before that, the lineup came out. We both kind of chatted about it a little bit. Jorginho wearing the armband. Thought that was kind of interesting. I want to say this is probably the lineup that you came up with, huh? I believe at least you had the center midfield correct. I'm not sure if you had Trossard in there or not, but what was your take on the lineup going into it? Did you feel comfortable?
The lineup was, it was interesting. It came out when I saw J20 wearing the armband. I was shocked. I'll be honest with you. When I saw him finish the game, I was shocked. Let me tell you. But you gotta give credit where it's due. There were moments when I was watching that game and I just kept thinking, don't pass it to Jorginho. He's just a decoy. He's just a decoy, dude. You could tell he hasn't played in 5 months, dude. But to have that kind of trust from the manager, to have that kind of trust in our depth and in our experience, I think the biggest takeaway, Steven, is start believing and stop doubting, because those are yesterdays, bro. Those days are in the past, bro. That's 3 on the bounce at their ground, dude.
Huge. Put that on a postcard, man. Coming up with the quotes. Put it on a postcard.
Dude, it's 3 at their ground, but I mean, on top of that, the reason I say it's time to start believing and stop doubting, look, I myself, in our preview pods, I said a domestic double is in the cards. When I saw the injuries starting to pile up, I got a little worried about that shout. I really did. But I think we just have to believe, dude. I think it's possible because you look at the calendar year. What is that big stat going around, dude? 11 games away in 2024. Haven't lost a single one. Won 10. 9 clean sheets. We've conceded 3 goals. Like,
woof.
We are good, dude. We have a very good team.
Very good. When I saw the lineup, I can't say I was like super excited about it, seeing Jorginho in there. I did like having Kai up top, leaving Trossard in the center mid. Leave Kai up top. Like, he's been the dude, right? He's been the dude. And I think him and Trossard played very well off of each other. So that's something to look forward to. But what I liked about this game was the double pivot. Got Jorginho and Partey, outside backs. We don't need the inverted role from you. Just play outside back. Do that role. And they did it to perfection. I think Ben White, we both kind of gave him some shtick. I don't think offensively he played very well. He had a few moments that he was off. But defensively, I mean, he's playing against Son. And every time we play Tottenham, I'm like, there's always going to be one moment for that guy. Always. He gets one moment. I can't think of one. I don't remember him getting a real sniff. Right?
He had one moment, I think in like the 94th minute. It was on top of the box where he cut Havertz. But then there was he Ethan,
got blocked,
dude.
Yeah. It got blocked, right?
Blocking his shot. That's what I love to see from a 17-year-old.
So that's like taking the whole game. We changed things and we still look great and we suffocated them. The 2 center backs have not been on their P's and Q's to start the season, I would say. I think that's fair. They showed up big yesterday. Both of them. Huge. Like they're back to their normal selves. It's really nice to see Saliba playing the way he does, and then Gabriel I mean, they're doing the Cross and Insula game. Like, nah, header, and then shout out to Raya. Yes, he's making the saves now, but this is what he does. Claiming crosses. Easy peasy. I mean, it's one of those things where if you're a Tottenham fan, it's like, why are we doing this? We know he's going to do this. Why are we crossing the ball like 10 times in the last 20 minutes? What are we doing? So it fell right into our hands. It fell right into our laps. Boom.
They really did, dude. Okay, so here's my question around the center backs. Do you think Big Gabi and William Saliba are the best center back pairing in the league? Are they? Is it like going too far to say they're the best center back pairing in the world?
I'll stick with the league and I'll say yes. And I'm trying to think of another pair right now. I think people put Romero and Van de Ven up there, which they play for Spurs and they get scored on a lot, right? You could say that's the style of ball that they play, but no, they get scored on quite a bit. I guess you could throw in Konate and Van Dijk. Van Dijk brings that level up a ton. And that's really all I can think of. Let's throw in City. They got multiple pairs they can put in. Ruben Diaz and anyone else. But I'm going to say Saliba and Gabriel, yeah. I mean, we got the clean sheet. We got the Golden Glove last year because of the clean sheets. And I think it was heavily due to our defensive line, primarily our center backs. So, yeah. Are you saying the world?
I don't know about the world yet. I think I'll have to see more in the Champions League because, I think back to the Bayern game, for example. I wasn't too happy with Big Gabi against Bayern. I think he struggled slightly. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see them perform at the big stages a little bit more. In the league, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying they're the best center back pairing because Big Gabi put the defensive side away. Like just put that in a little box and then put it in your closet. The goal scoring ability. He is the highest scoring center back since he joined the league. Like, yep. I think you combine those and yeah, the amount of attention that William Saliba gets and you just forget about how good Big Gabi is.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. The way they play off each other is just perfect, like that yin and yang sometimes. I mean, we've said it so many times. It's the cool, easygoing guy versus the guy that's all passion in your face. Them big old teeth. I love that. But I mean, Gabriel, so he scores that goal and Saliba's right there with him celebrating like it's his own goal. I mean, I love it. Like, I think they obviously have a good working relationship and it's cool that they both played in Ligue 1. So they both speak French, I'm sure. So they can communicate that way. I mean, young dudes too. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while for them.
It is, dude. And I mean, I've actually kind of struggled with Big Gabi early this season. I think some of his dumb decision making, I'm just going to call it that, because he has that in the locker and it had gone away last season. But early this season, I've seen him make a few fouls where I'm just like, that's the old Gabi that I know. But, I think if his decision making becomes a little more consistent, he's gotten so much better at playing the long passes to our players. He didn't have that diagonal and the sort of measuring of a long pass in the locker. So I got to give him credit there, dude. I'm really impressed with them. And like at times I thought, hey, could Calafiori, could he be our left center back? Could we see a Jurriën Timber and a William Saliba? But Big Gabi's just out here saying, KP, I'm listening. I don't like it, bro. I'm out here. Man on match.
Don't count me out.
Derby. Yes, sir.
Don't count me out. I'm still here. But I think that's a good little. I heard Timber thrown in there. So we got to give a shout out to my left back, my one to watch, bro. Big moments with Vicario. So I've watched the replay so many times. So it gets gets in that challenge with Porro. I personally don't even think it's a foul. Let alone being a yellow card. Like, I don't even think it's a foul. Like, sure, give the foul, but obviously the reaction is insane. He keeps dribbling, gets taken out by Romero, which I think was kind of a nasty tackle, and then Vicario right in his face. He said, sit down, big man. Like he grabbed, Ricardo's so much bigger than him. He grabs him by that jersey. I think Ricardo was like, oh shit. I don't want to smoke. Like this guy's thick.
He's like that, bro. He is like that.
So he showed that flavor. Really big game. And I feel like it's coming to this point now. So we're 3 games in, 4 games in. He's kind of left back now. I think the thought was always Calafiori is going to be $50 million signing. He's going to be the guy. We also bought Timber for $50 million, if you remember, last season. So I kind of think it's his position right now. This game really showed it. I think he won over people. So I think that's good for the team now. That guy's got to win his spot, right? Ricardo Calafiori is got to win a spot now.
He does. He's going to have to try a lot harder, dude. I mean, Timber, this was the first, this is probably the most competitive match that we've seen him play.
Yeah.
And he absolutely stood up to the task. One of the things that I love about him that I don't think we've really had, when you think about Arsenal, you don't really think about slide tackles. You don't really think about defenders on the ground, I feel like. Maybe you do as of late. It's gotten better. But Jurrien Timber, I see him on the ground pretty often. If the ball gets away from him, he'll stretch for it, dude. He will go in for that slide. If it's a 50-50, he'll shoulder you, man. He's out here, dude. And offensively, dude, there was one moment where he cut a player and had that shot off. Like, some of his cuts offensively is like, we haven't even seen the full Jurrien Timber package, dude. And that's very exciting. On the other hand, what I do struggle with, Steven, is he gives the other team's winger a lot of space. The space between him and their wingers is very long, dude. He just lets them run at him.
I was going to ask you about this. Is a note that KP made during the game. There's a lot of balls going out to Brendan Johnson. And he's like, why is he giving him so much space? Why is he giving him so much? He's like letting him basically run at him. And that's how you felt, right? You just felt like he was giving him too much space. You should have been touch tight.
Yeah, I felt like when you watch you just think about all of your own time playing soccer. It's always like, get tight as a defender, right? But not Timber. There's an element of like, I want to say borderline cockiness to it, dude. And confidence in his other teammates that I think we've lacked. Because for him, he's just saying, you can't beat me. Like, go on and try to beat me. You have a 20-yard run on me. Go on and try to beat me. Every time he shifts the hips, every time he tries to block it, if you do get the cross in, he's usually closed the angle enough for David Raya to just catch it. And if not, he's thinking, I got 2 big guys next to me. They're going to get it. That's what I'm going to be watching out for, dude. I think one of these days he might get burnt, but I hope not.
I feel like that's fair to say. One day it might go against him, but I'm actually surprised at how well he's defending. We'd like to say the forgotten man also, Tomiyasu. No one's mentioning him. Tomiyasu is like our best one-on-one defender. You need someone to close somebody down. He's the guy. I have not seen Timber get cooked. I just haven't seen him get cooked yet. He's good on the ball, had some good offensive moments. I think him and Martinelli might be creating something a little bit. Seems like they're getting to know each other better. But Brendan Johnson, he took his chances. Like, he went at him a few times. Didn't really get a sniff at all. Had a few long shots from, 20, 25 yards out, but wasn't nothing. Like, Timber, he's defending at a very high level, very high. And I think what you said, he does have like this cockiness to him. There's a little arrogance, the way he's built. I saw him put a shoulder into a few people yesterday. Like, he's making his presence known, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, dude, I agree with you. Just the squad of Aura. Just rename us Aura FC, dude. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's all vibes, man.
So I'm gonna ask you about your one to watch, but I want to say, for anybody that hasn't been listening, so beginning of the season, we both picked one player. So I picked one, KP picked one. It's like, hey, here's our one to watch, who we think we should be watching this season because they're going to be making an impact for us. I picked Timber, and he is exceeding in what I expected. I kind of thought he'd be coming off the bench. KP picked TP5, Mr. Thomas Partey, who's also been playing quite well. That center mid matchup with him and Jorginho, it was a little different yesterday. But how did you feel? How you feel Thomas played?
I mean, TP5, I'd probably give that performance a standard 6.5, maybe 7. I feel like I'm stretching it, but I think a 6 and a 6.5 is a fair rating for him. I think he was dropping in between the center backs. At times we were becoming 5, so that was nice to see. He had to cover a lot of ground because J20. I mean, J20, we'll talk about J20, but the first half, it was just TP5 in the middle, basically. And he held his own. Did he have a couple of moments where you wish he was a little cleaner? Sure. There was one cross I remember that came in where he tried to clear it, kind of got his touch wrong. Their player was about to get on top of it, but Big GABI was there, right? It's not a big deal when you have a big man behind you. I can't say that enough, dude. And overall, it wasn't the cleanest passing game, but no one had a great passing game. I heard this was maybe the lowest pass percentage that like Arsenal have had in terms of completions.
Interesting. I think he had a decent game. I do think having Jorginho next to him, of the two midfielders, I think Partey had a better game. I will say that. I did like him dropping in back, making that back three, receiving the ball, letting Thomas Partey be the one that pings it. But that moment you're talking about, so the ball came into the box, it got underneath his studs. Partey kind of tries to clear it, I guess, but it got underneath his studs, and he deadens it basically. And then it was Solanke coming in for a shot, and Gabriel, huge block. He got that because it's one of those ones where it almost looks like this could be a PK. This is the North London derby. Like might be a PK coming here, but he got it clean and he got it away. And I hate something about Partey that I think is pretty apparent this year. He can be a scapegoat. If they had got that shot off, it's Partey's fault. He's the one everyone's looking at, right? We're all turning towards him like, that's you. I think he's an easy scapegoat this season. We don't see that here on this pod, but I think that's just out there on the socials. Thomas Partey is the scapegoat. So yeah, I think another solid performance, and he's sticking in the lineup. How about this? He's played 4 games, no injuries. Cross your fingers, everybody. Cross your fingers.
I can't believe you just said that, dude. I'm gonna knock on wood. That's unbelievable from you, dude. He is just wow. Dude, TP5. The thing about him that you can't measure, it is the experience, dude. There was a moment where Ethan Nwaneri was in the match. It was probably the last 10 minutes of the game, right? And he was short on his pass back to TP5. It was one of those where you can tell that it's a younger player and not recognizing that you just have to ping everything. But TP5 just went through that ball. He didn't try to control it. He didn't try to like be cute with it. He said, "It's all right, young man. Like, that's what I'm here for. I'll clean this up and we'll move." So I really appreciate the performance. I thought it was good. It was good enough, dude. It was good enough. And if you were going to scapegoat TP5 for us dropping points in that game, then I just feel sorry for you almost because you're not even, his 2 other center mids that he's played with are out. Those passing lanes, those movements, those chemistries, we were struggling to build up at times. We were struggling to find our center mids, dude. And it's because the passing lanes and the movements were just not what we're kind of used to. And that's expected, dude. But he was still there. I think he showed enough. What did you make of Ethan's little cameo? You wanted him in.
I did. I thought he looked good. I would say the most noticeable thing was like there was a calmness to him. I can totally see a young dude come into that game and just being excited. Because we're not up a lot. We're not down. Like we're trying to see this out. It's kind of a tough position as a 17-year-old kid to be coming into. We're seeing out a 1-0 game against our rival. So it's a tough situation to be in. He had a few moments where he got the ball and he was calm, just cool as a whistle, just cool with it. Kind of stepped on it, turned to the right, played out there. I think there was a moment when he beat someone in the center mid. I don't think he had any options. We're obviously Everybody's, he's got 8 men behind him. It's him and somebody else. Maybe he cooked somebody and was able to get it. So, it was the play where he played Kai and he was offside. It's like, yeah.
I was waiting for that ball.
Yeah, in another situation, hopefully next year or next time, he just plays it to him, can find his space and play him the ball because Kai's just absolutely through. But just the coolness to him, I mean, kudos to him, and he is going to be finding minutes here. He has to be.
He has to be, dude. Did you think he was actually going to get on, or do you think he got on because Saka got hurt?
At that stage of the game, I think it was just because Saka got hurt. I wanted him to get on 100%. Like, come the 60th minute, 70th, I can't believe Jorginho played the full 90, man. That's crazy. I can't believe that.
That is crazy. I agree with you. But, for Ethan to put in the 10 minutes that he did, I mean, he must have been absolutely buzzing after that match, right? Like, did he even get any sleep that night? I don't know. I imagine not, right? But how cool is it that that's your North London derby debut, right? And we've already won there 3 times. So the next time he gets on, hopefully it's already 3-0, and he's helping us get the 4th one. That's exciting.
Yeah. Did you see anything, I guess, from him in particular?
I did enjoy that he was comfortable and he was confident and he still got on the ball. He wasn't afraid to. I feel like he one. I think you're totally right. He does remind me of Timber. Same thickness, But he's got this element of like, I can keep the ball, which is super encouraging. He's not afraid to, like, there was a moment where I think he dribbled for basically like 30 yards, but just in a square, like just right across horizontally. And I like seeing that. That's good enough for me to say, all right, give him some more time. But who I can't wait to maybe get some more limited time and probably never the armband again. I do think Jorginho is not ready to be in that middle of the pitch. Some people out here really saying he bossed it. I mean, I think he had some good moments. He showed his experience. To be fair to him, this is the thing where you're like, am I happy as an Arsenal fan? And like, how sad would I be as a Tottenham fan? Because your midfield just got outplayed by J20, bro. Where was James Maddison?
So we pre-game, we're looking at the lineups. Kind of a very expected lineup from us, I think. Their center midfield, they were going with that speed, the legs, right? Runners. They were going with the runners in the midfield. Go ahead.
They had Kulusevski in the middle. That was a shock, dude. That was saying, we're going to run at you.
Yes. So like that's my expectation. And Kulusevski's playing off the right. So there were times in that last 30 minutes, it was very predictable of what Tottenham was going to do. It wasn't going out left. Son in the last 30 minutes wasn't getting a ton of touches. It was going right. And there were spaces where Jorginho was I don't know, but they were just feeding it through basically that right, their right side of the pitch, I guess, our left. And he was just kind of missing at times. He, to me, had the epitome of like a 6 performance. There's moments when he gets the ball and he cools it for us and he's just kind of pinging it. Love it. Like, we needed that presence. But there's also other moments where it's like, damn, like I wish somebody else was there that could move because he's getting bypassed so easily. Obviously, we've said it how many times. KP's been saying it over and over. You got big man 1, big man 2 standing in the middle of the pitch. Plus you got Timber and Ben White behind you. Like, it's tough, right? So they're the ones that can claim the glory, I think. Jorginho, I'm surprised he played a 90 at 60, 70 minutes. To me, he should have came off, but hey, good for him. He was pointing. He pointed a lot, which we all noticed. His hands are flying left and right. So maybe he is directing traffic and making that extra contribution. But yeah, for me, Jorginho, I'll give him a 6.
Yeah, dude. I mean, as soon as the second half started, you knew what their tactics were. You knew what their halftime talk was. Halftime was like, here's this big channel on the right side of their team. Just keep playing through that channel. And they kept going back to the well. But you know, sometimes the well dries up, baby. Sorry. I was calling basically after the 60th minute, can we please move King Kai to the middle? Because what a performance from King Kai, dude. No assists, no goals. But if you're a footballing person, which this is a footballing pod, is there anything he's not willing to do to help us win?
That's it. He does everything. Like, he does whatever you need him to do. That's what you got to love about a player. Like, I can do this, do that. I'm here, there, I'm everywhere. Defensive contribution, insane. He held up the ball plenty. He had that huge moment early where he actually almost scored. Vicario had a nice save, and then that ball went off Romero's arm. Not a handball, but like, it did go off his arm. Like, that was a great chance. That was a good header. So I give Kai Havertz a huge. Having Declan Rice and Odegaard out, I think he's a player that you really looked at to be like, you're now in the center of the pitch. You got to do something for us. With them two guys with the legs missing, what do you got? Huge in the press. I mean, you really can't say enough about him. I want to say the amount of ground he probably had to cover yesterday because those two weren't there. He's probably the biggest influence on that. Like, he was affected the most of losing those two center mids. So, and he came up. I think he answered the bell.
He absolutely did, dude. And yeah, I mean, you don't have the legs and you don't have the creativity. So where's the creativity going to come from? Is that fully King Kai? I don't think so. That's why you have a guy named Leonardo Trossard, the creator, dude. What a performance from him.
Huge. Keep talking it.
He is starting to get into that category of, like, Kai Havertz is on the pitch, dude. Leandro Trossard is on the pitch, dude. I mean, Gabi Martinelli, I'm scared for you, young man. I really am, because that performance, yes, he cooked the outside back, got the cross to that header you're talking about from King Kai. But I don't know if the rest of it was enough, because Leo Trossard absolutely showed up, dude. The way he can help, just keep the ball. The way, there was a moment where he was on top of our box when he got the ball, and there's 4 Tottenham players surrounding him, and you were just like, where's everyone? Where is Jorginho? But Trossard just kept fighting on. He kept fighting on.
I want Trossard to get his flowers. I don't think he's getting enough credit. And maybe it's because I have a affliction for him, but like, he looked like he was the creative piece yesterday. You don't have Odegaard. Like, who's going to step in? To me, it was absolutely Trossard. And he was going to the left and the right. I think he was playing on both sides of the pitch. Like, as that central player, he was trying to help out both sides. Defensively, though, I give him credit. Like, he's working back. I think he knows I have to step up on my level if I want to be playing, and he's doing it. Martinelli puts in an absolute shift. Going forward, coming back. We know that about Martinelli. He's got an engine. Trossard, I think that's one thing he doesn't have compared to Martinelli. But the last few weeks, I think he's showing it. To me, he has to be on the field. Like, he just does. At this point, he has to be on the field. Let him cook.
He's starting to enter that category, dude, for Arsenal right now. And that's really exciting. And let's chat a little bit about Sticks, dude, because I actually didn't see if he walked out last, so I'm not really going to comment on that. His performance in general, I was surprised that he played 80 minutes. I thought that was pushing it, personally. And on top of it, he had probably that biggest moment in the first half where Trossard played him through.
Oof. That's a beautiful ball. He's going in. I gotta say, I saw pass. Like, that's all I'm seeing. That's the running in. Like, pass. He's passing. Like, it's a goal. He's passing. And then he shoots, and it was so tame. Like, I think we had Lee Dixon on our commentary, and like, he's like, that's the player that doesn't have confidence, that's not putting his foot through the ball, not gonna be risking putting it wide, as we've said, Mr. Wide. He's not gonna risk that because he puts in a tame shot to make sure it's on frame. And it was a weak attempt. Like, it just was. Doesn't have the confidence. He needs to get his numbers up. getting an assist there is a way to get your numbers up because you're not getting goals and you're not getting assists. That was a good moment to do it. And I am also surprised that he played the 80. To me, that's Jesus or Sterling off the bench. Martinelli had a few moments where he does his thing where he runs at the defenders and he loses the ball. And he runs at them and he loses it. I mean, one thing that he does have, he does win us a lot of corners, which you've said before. But to me, it seemed like there was definitely a moment when we needed to change things on the left wing. The defensive contribution he put in, excellent. But like when there's 30 minutes left, 20 minutes left, let's get someone on that's fresher, right? And I think, to me, he's lost his spot to Trossard, man. I'd rather see him going forward. If all our boys come back and we need to put someone on the left wing and it's between them two, I'm riding Trossard.
I guess the best way to look at it, Steven, is there's a cup final tomorrow.
Oof.
Does Gabriel Martinelli start in a cup final tomorrow?
He doesn't for me. How about you?
I don't think so, because also it's a cup final. I want to bring on a game changer who can go behind the defenders when they're tired, right? And I know he can have an impact off the bench. I know he can, dude. So if he comes off in the 70th minute in a cup final, I can actually see him scoring the winner. But if he starts a cup final, I can't see him contributing to a goal right now for 70 minutes. I can count on him defensively. There was a moment in the Tottenham game even, I think Trossard actually lost the ball and Martinelli tracked back like 30 yards to cover for him and was there. So it's great to see, but I agree with you. I do think his confidence is too impacted by wanting to score. Not even wanting to like get an assist. I think he just wants to score. So that really impacts him. And I think in the season where he had like 15 goals or so, there were a few moments where he was through, just like he was against Tottenham, and he would like toe poke them near post. Like that's a player of high confidence, you know? I can toe poke his near post on his goalkeeper. I don't care who's in goal, bro. But now my goal is to just get a shot on target. And that's not enough. But you know, these are also, I mean, Martinelli was so young when he joined Arsenal. And these are some of the growing pains that he didn't really have to deal with, right? How do you react when there's a veteran who is challenging you for a spot? That's hard as a 23-year-old, right? So I do give him some leeway that he needs to also adjust because it's a moment in his career that he hasn't had in the past. And it's going to be really exciting to see how Mikel can, you know, flex some of his man management skills there.
I love that. He's a fan favorite. Martinelli is absolutely a fan favorite. That's why people expect him to see on the team sheet week in and week out. Like we've seen him there for 2-3 years now. He's really hitting this tough, rough patch. Man management. Sterling at City, right? There's all that talk about him and Mikel. Get in Gabriel Martinelli's ear and get the confidence into the kid. Because at the moment, again, I just don't see. Yes, the defensive contribution is there. Maybe it's going to be this type of situation, man, where when we play big teams that we need the defensive effort, Martinelli plays. But everyone else, Trossard should be playing. The person that's actually going to be scoring goals. The best finisher in the club. Can't leave that on the bench.
I think you're spot on, dude. Let's chat a little bit about our two attacking substitutions, Jesus and Sterling. Jesus, by the way, I mean, if he was that fit, I guess it's kind of good that we didn't start him. I think in the past, I've struggled a little bit with this manager. Someone comes back from injury and they're straight up into the starting line. But this is the thing about yesteryears, right? Like, you're not just hopping back into the starting line when you get injured anymore, bro. You're gonna have to earn that. And that's exciting. Jesus, for me, I like the new hair. I think that's cool. Little Raheem Sterling influence, but I didn't see too much to really call out. There was one where I think he fouled someone in the corner of our 18. I was pretty upset. Oh, actually, in the 93rd minute, he got the ball, dude, and he didn't go to the corner. And I was so upset. He just kept dribbling in the middle, lost it to like 5 Tottenham players because obviously he ran into a wall, but the whole corner was wide open. At that moment, I was actually the most angry I've ever been at a Brazilian.
That was a really silly moment from him to be coming off the bench. Title winning player. He has all this experience, yada, yada. He ran at 3 Tottenham players, ran at him. 93rd minute, 1-0, ran straight at him and lost the ball. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And like you said, the corner was wide open. Like they're all central waiting for him, standing there waiting, and he dribbles right into him. That was silly. You have Ethan Waneri come on, looking calm, cool, collected. And you got Jesus coming on as the experienced player running into people. Like that was silly. But it is nice to see them coming back. I think Jesus had a great preseason. So it is sad that he's kind of lost some of that momentum, I think. But we got this Champions League coming up. We have the FA Cup game coming up. So there's moments for him to now start getting involved again. And hopefully he comes back flying. And Sterling on his debut, didn't see a ton, to be honest. I can't say anything good or bad about him. He was working back. I appreciate that. If he was not doing that, I would never want to see him again. But he was working back. He's got that diaper butt, man. When he runs, it cracks me up watching him scoot across the field. He looks like he got a diaper on.
He is
so I'll
funny.
give him that shout out.
He is funny, dude. And I think one of the things I said when we signed him is that we already have a left wing who makes those wrong decisions. And he did make a wrong decision in the game. He also dribbled at someone and just got stuck, where it was so unnecessary to try to do whatever he was trying to do. So, but it's too early. I think it's way too early to judge a Sterling or a Jesus based on that little cameo. It's super exciting. I think it's exciting to have them come off even if they're just coming off the bench. Like you're at Tottenham, right? You're at home. You are technically the favorite going into this game based on all the talking points, and you're losing. And in the 80th minute, they bring on Sterling and Jesus. As a player, that does have to be like slightly disheartening.
Oh, absolutely it does. It absolutely does. But let the man cook, right? I do cook. That's a part of it, baby.
Cook. Let him cook, dude. All right, let's I think that's enough from the game, huh? You got more?
I got one question for you. So 64th minute, we go up 1-0. Did you have any doubt finishing that game? It's a North London derby, bro. These games they're crazy, right? End-to-end stuff. We had the 3-2 last year. We're up 3-0. They came back. Did you have any doubt at 1-0? Any questions?
I actually, yeah, dude, I had a lot of doubts, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm here confident now, and I'm saying start believing. But when there was 20 minutes left, I did feel like, oh man, I don't want to get scored on. I really don't, dude. But I felt it. I think what I had the most worries around was the officiating. I thought there's going to be a red card for us. I thought one of us is going to get called out for time wasting. One of us is going to get a second booking because we delayed the game. One of us is just going to do something stupid that we are the only ones who get punished for. And I'm not looking forward to that. That was my biggest worry and doubt. I will say pre-match, we talked about the officiating. And I thought the first 25, 30 minutes, the ref was shaky. I did feel like the atmosphere and the magnitude of the game was maybe a little too much for him. But he made some decisions that were surprising and not just welcomed as an Arsenal fan, but just welcomed as like good officiating. There was one play where one of them fouled our player. It was a bad foul. It was a yellow card. And in the same sequence, another one of their players fouled our player. And once the game actually calmed down, he booked both of them. It's rare that you see 2 bookings in one sequence, but I appreciate that he went back to it. I really did.
That was the moment there for the officiating, because that's a good shout out. You always got to throw in the refs for the derby, right? Because there's always going to be a dust up. There's always going to be something. It was, for a while, the cards were kind of coming out and the temperature was rising. So after the Timber Vicario incident, probably a good thing in retrospect that they both got yellow cards, right? I wish maybe Timber got it after the fact. If he would have given it to him for Vicario and him getting in their faces, right? Him grabbing the jersey, like, boom, both of you guys yellows, knock it off. Perfect. But those 2 Spurs yellows back to back, I think set the tone, because the second half wasn't as on edge, I would say. The temperature had dropped a little bit as far as getting people that second yellow. First half ended, I think there was 7 total yellows. I think it was 5 for Tottenham, 2 for us. One of them being a time wasting, the Saliba one. So he set that precedent early on him. The rest of the game, I can't really say there was many moments where time wasting balls were being kicked away. I'll give him credit. Maybe I'm just saying that because we won. Which you hate to be that guy, but the second half really wasn't on edge. But yeah, of course, the last 30 minutes of the game, I'm puckered up, man. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, it's in the footballing God's hands at that point. But I will say about the official, that yellow to William Saliba, that's unacceptable. The yellow to William Saliba for running back as his center back, when you see something like that, that is just professionalism. I have no idea what else to tell you.
That was a wild one. But again, he gave it to him in the 15th minute, I believe, like somewhere early. It was very early. And it's your center back. Like, he set the precedent. To me, if anybody, I was waiting all game for them to like be kicking balls. I was ready to be, like this, get in his face. Somebody, J20, run up to him, dog. Go tell him where to stick it. But there really wasn't moments like that. So I guess, again, I hated the yellow card, but maybe that's setting the precedent. He said it early. I will give it to your center back if you play those games. I don't really think there was incidents like that, to be honest, Keon.
No, and it's not just like this official, the yellow card that I have to Saliba that I have an issue with, right? I think there was a lot of Arsenal fans who were watching every single game of the weekend and calling out every single incident of a delay of game that just went unpunished. I think every single one of them on Saturday went unpunished. So then for you to show up the next day and have moments like that, it's just frustrating, because if you're going to do it for everyone.
Hey, this is how we are going to be officiated. Arsenal Football Club, this is how they are going to be officiated on the field. So hopefully they're used to it now. So in the game when it happens and the other team does it, though, again, Odegaard, J20, whoever's wearing the band, referee, Mr. Referee, sir, I know you saw that. So when we do it, I swear, I will walk off the pitch, man. I swear I'll do it.
That's great, dude. All right. Speaking of stuff that happened around the league, there was a huge upset this weekend. Nottingham Forest showed up to Anfield and said, "We're going to win this game 1-0. Did you catch those highlights?
I did not. I didn't catch a lot of action this weekend, to be honest, so give it to me.
That was the only game that I watched the extended highlights for, because obviously our Liverpool friend was like, "Oh, wow, everything went as sour as we all expected." So I went and checked it out. Is because I've told him, you guys have like the what I consider to be the best like 6 forwards, like as far as options go, right now in the league. But obviously they blanked against Nottingham Forest. I did have to check it out. Yeah, I mean, they missed some good chances. And Forest, dude, their goal was actually so nasty. Like, it has to be, I think, to beat Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield. It was rare bender in the corner from Hudson-Odoi, I think. So that was just, yeah, it was fun. It's kind of interesting that this honeymoon period for their manager does seem to be over now, though, because it's serious now, dude. You just lost the game.
I don't think it's. I really still think Liverpool's a good team. I did not watch the highlights, so I don't know what happened. I did see they lost 1-0 at home, which is the surprise. It's at home. Who knows? But I'm still backing Liverpool, to be honest. I think they're ending in absolutely the top 4, but I'm still going to put them in the top 3. Newcastle's there. Newcastle's sitting 3rd right now. I did catch some of that Wolves game because it was after the Arsenal game, so I did catch some of it. I mean, they're getting lucky. That's how I feel about it. There's a few games now. I did watch them last week when they played Tottenham. They got out of that one. Didn't think they should have won this game. Kind of get on the skin of their teeth, man. They just kind of keep plugging away. But to me, it's one of those things where luck eventually runs out.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope so, but right now they're still in my top 4 at the end of the season because, yeah, they are getting away with it, and you could say it's a sign of a good team. And like Trippier doesn't play. I looked at their bench, dude. They had Tonali on the bench. They had Willock on the bench. I mean, they still have players to bring in. Now, on the other side, the Wolves are back in the relegation zone, dude. They have 1 point. All eyes on Wolves, dude. That is going to be the shock of the season when they go down. Poor Sean Dyche, on the other hand, sitting bottom of the league, dude. Another 2-0 lead. I mean, some of the stuff that we're seeing are, you think about it, Sean Dyche, Burnley. I mean, you fear going down 1-0 against Burnley because that game is ending 1-0, bro. And he's not getting the same vibes from Everton. And my question for you is, will Sean Dyche be the first manager to get sacked this season?
I'm going to say no, because this is where he makes his money, man. This is where he makes his money. 2-0, 2 games in a row is actually terrible. Like their fan base has to be absolutely sick. So I'm sure his neck is on the chopping block. So I like Sean Dyche. I know the style of ball isn't great and people aren't. I just like that he's able to get these teams that aren't much and kind of keep them up. Keeping Everton up they got the points reduction. He kept them up. So I'm gonna back him and say he'll be all right. If they sack him. Who wants to be the manager of Everton, man? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. And is Sean Dyche the resignation type of guy? I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the resignation type of guy. So they might just ride this one out. But I'll come out and say it on the pod that I think Sean Dyche will get sacked this season. I don't know if he'll be the first manager to get sacked, but I'm starting to feel like he will get sacked because when you lose 2 games back to back being up 2-0, have you lost the locker room? That's kind of weird.
That does stink. Like that smells of something bad. This game was away. At least the first one was home, which is tragic. This one was away. And against Villa, which is a good team. Let me check when they scored. So they went 2-0 up in the 27th minute. It was early. It was early. And then Watkins with the double, 36th, 58th. And then that Duran hit, bro. I mean, what you gonna do? And that thing was disgusting. I did see that. Thank goodness for the boys in the group chat for putting that one in there. Woof. I mean, what a hit. That's goal of the season right there. That's goal of the season material.
Dude, it was incredible, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was nice that Jordan Pickford, those arms had no chance.
It's always the English keepers, man. It's always the English keepers. I remember Joe Hart just getting battered by just amazing goals. Just something about it being an English keeper.
Yeah, Ramsdale, yeah, he had 2 goals put past him by United. So Southampton ended up losing that game. That was a game, I don't know if you saw, like Southampton had a penalty in like the 31st minute or the 33rd, and their penalty got saved. And then a minute later, United scored, and then a minute later, United scored again. That's just sad. That's just sad. That's football at that point. But Southampton could have really really won that game if that penalty goes in, potentially. Speaking of scoring early, Manchester City went down 1-0 within the first minute again over the weekend. Their toughest test yet, but did you really think they were going to lose that game?
Absolutely not. They had them right where they wanted them. They had them right where they wanted them. Early goal, and they said, all right, or at least the Hounds. They're just mad that Haaland didn't get his hat trick. It's probably a travesty for them that he didn't get his hat trick. Got 2 goals early in the first half, right? I'm actually mind-boggled that he didn't get a third. That's really disappointing from him.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. He has more goals than he alone has scored more goals than every other Premier League team so far this season. That's insane, dude. That's the level we're competing with.
That
plus
is
115 charges.
That is crazy. I was thinking that the other day because I'd seen some of the numbers he's putting up just like historically. He's like astronomical right now. It's like, well, who are the last 2 astronomical type players? It's Messi and Christie. They both played in the same league and were competing against each other. Like that, and that's kind of what made it so cool, like legendary status stuff. Haaland's by himself. Like he's not good. He's competing with who? Kai Havertz, Solanke.
Kai?
Yeah, like who? It's him and him alone, and he's got Kevin De Bruyne feeding him balls. So,
and there isn't another one that you can just go and find. That's like that's the scariest part about it. I mean, people say Gyökeres is like very similar, right? People are saying even Osimhen can maybe like compete, but I really don't think there is another Haaland right now in the world that another team can go and sign in order to compete with Haaland. Like they already have the robot, dude. No one else has the algorithm. Can't build it.
Big, strong. I did see their first goal that he scored, and it was like a nothing chance, honestly. Like the way he had it on his right foot, kind of, it's like a nothing chance. And he just smashed it into the back of the net. It's like, all right, they gonna win this game. I'm surprised he didn't get his hat trick, honestly.
Did you see his second goal? Because that was also crazy, dude. Ederson just long ball, Haaland and another defender just outpositioned him for the ball, and then he was through and chipped the goalkeeper. Like, might as well not be on the pitch, dude. The defenders might as well have not been on the pitch. So that is the level, man. And we'll see him at the weekend. But before then, we are playing in the Champions League. And that's exciting.
So I guess the big talk of the Champions League then. So Thursday, away. Sunday, away at City. So not great. Not a great fixture look. But I think the only talking point for this game is lineup, right? Like, what do you expect for the lineup? Let's not talk City, of course. We'll leave that one. Let's just talk Thursday evening under the lights in Italy. You think there's going to be changes?
I hope there's changes. I do. Where will the changes be? My preference is that we rest at least one of our center backs. William Saliba and Big GABI. I want to see one of them rested for the Atalanta game because you just talked about Haaland and his form. And I want to have one fresh center back going into it if we can.
I'm in a space right now where so I just said that question. I really haven't thought of it, but I'm thinking back to our conversation earlier. Zinchenko's out. Calafiori's out. Tomiyasu's out. That's not good. We got Kiwior. Like, that's kind of the only option, really. Unless you wanted to throw in Heaven, but I'm not going to even throw him in because he's just the kid.
Not Haven. And I don't think if this player will start, the game is probably too big. But like Miles Lewis Skelly had a good preseason at that outside back. With the injury, I don't know anything about Zinchenko's injury, to be honest with you. It is a big bummer that he's out. When I was thinking about the lineup, and my point of like, I want to rest one of the center backs, but I don't know if we can. I would have loved for Tomiyasu to be fit, right? Tommy gets in this game. Easy.
That's it. I don't think we can. I'm with you. Like, I'm having these thoughts of like, oh, we'll throw in a couple, maybe 1 or 2 defense, maybe 2 new attackers and maybe 1 midfielder. Like, cool. But defensively, like, just starting there, we're talking about back line. Timber would be the only one that I think could be rotated probably. Because that's the first night. Is that the first 90 he's played? Let's talk.
Yeah, I think full game. Yeah.
So we got Kiwior. And Kiwior can slide in. I like that Lewis Skelly shout, though, to be honest. You could do even Timber 45 minutes and then put in somebody else for 45. That would be cool. And then you could throw in Kiwior at left center back.
Yeah, and it's weird, right? Because put the game aside for a second. We have 8 of these matches for the table. And, brand new format. When you think about those 8 matches, what's kind of your expectation? What do you think is a realistic expectation in terms of wins, losses, and draws out of 8?
I want to say what they did is they probably have their 8 games and they picked out ones. We have to win X, Y, Z, right? We have to win this section of games, and here's the ones where if we want to take our foot off the pedal or do something different, we can. Now, I don't know if Atalanta is one of them, right? I don't know. But you have another huge game in the league, domestic league, on Sunday. So I don't know where you want to make the changes, if you even make the changes. I don't know how well Atalanta is doing this season. So let's go off of the defense, though. Midfield. I don't want to see Partey out there.
Really?
I want my boy Jorginho. I want Jorginho out there.
So you're saying
it's Italy, baby. It's Italy.
Yeah.
He's going home.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about J20 and following that performance, it is that he does need maybe another run out there. He needs another run out there. And maybe that run is a little easier if he's the 6 and a Declan Rice is the other guy, right? And a TP5 gets the break that I think he's earned. And we really are not in a position where we can afford anything to go wrong with TP5 right now.
Absolutely not. So to me, he's the only one that I'm trying to. He's the player I'm trying to protect of all of our players. Even like Saka. Saka's he's our star boy. He's the guy that has to play. Like, that's just the way it is. Sorry, man, but like, you have to play. You're the best. You're the best of our bunch. You got to be out there. Whereas Thomas Partey is like, you can be a liability if you get hurt. So, and we know you will get hurt.
Yeah, no, I think resting TP5 is a really nice shout. Obviously, Declan will be back. I mean, King Kai, can he go another full 90, dude? How much do you want to keep running him to the ground? How much do you want to run Trossard to the ground? We started the pod by chatting shit about everyone saying Edu out, where are all the pieces? But like, again, is it Edu's fault that Tomiyasu got hurt in preseason? I don't know. Is it Edu's fault that Zinchenko's calves gave out again? I don't know. I do think Kiwior starts on Thursday. I will tell you that. I don't know exactly if he plays left back or even right center back. We saw him play right center back in the preseason a lot. So if you're going to rest Saliba, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a big GABI and a Kiwior. So I'll give a shout out to Kiwior. I think he'll get a start. The middle, I like the way you framed it. I think Jesus or a Sterling has to start on Thursday in order to allow the manager to move some of the other pieces around.
I think I'm trying to think, man. This is a tough one. I'm just trying to think. 2 days later, get 2 days of rest, and then it's City. And I know that's in the back of Mikel's head, right? That he's a schemer. He played at 4D chess. So I want to say he probably wants to start Martinelli. He trusts him. He trusts him a lot. That would be my guess. That's what my gut's telling me. So I like a shout out to play Sterling. Probably Sterling out left. Why not? Why not? It's something new. Atalanta, they haven't seen it on the film yet. It's a new thing. And I think he needs to get minutes, honestly. He only got 10 in this last game with Tottenham. This would be a good game for him to get his moments, showcase some stuff, get comfortable with us. Because he needs to start getting minutes like soon if he wants to make an impact.
It's going to be exciting, dude. We'll see the rotation, to your point about on the last spot. Like, this is the fun part. We're about to see some new teams. We're about to see new team sheets, and that's exciting. I'll tell you what about Atalanta. They won the Europa League, right? Last season, they beat Liverpool, I think, and they beat Leverkusen in the final. So they had that Lookman player who had a hat trick, I think, in the final, and he'll play on Benny Blanco's side again. Like, yes, Benny Blanco didn't have a great offensive game, but that was probably the quietest game that we've seen Heung-min Son play. So that's going to be a really fun matchup. And at this point, I mean, with the injuries, we don't have another right back. So Benny Blanco is already in his running back mode.
I mean, you got to play Ben White, right? You got to play Blanco. It's just light. It's light in the back line. And I'm excited to see who we play. What you just said is probably what we should be looking forward to as fans. Because we don't know. We don't know what they're thinking. We always like to have these conversations. It's hypothetical, but like what we're talking about really doesn't matter. Because it's what's happening inside the building with all the coaches and stuff. I'm sure they probably have it set already. Like they've thought about this. This is not something like they're going game by game. Yeah, if someone gets injured, I'm sure that pops up. But like they know, they have like this plan in their head. So he probably knows what he's doing Thursday. He knows what he's doing Sunday, barring any injuries. So I'm excited to see what the team he puts out, though, because I do agree that it will be different.
Yeah, and look, it's another away game, so I wouldn't be surprised if we win 1-0, and we'll see. I think we have to rely on set pieces right now over the next couple of weeks, dude, because that's what we have. we are playing on moments right now, especially because our left winger, at least, is not putting clear chances away. So we'll see. We'll see. You didn't answer my question, though. So 8 games, how many do you think we should win? Because I'm starting to think we have to win 5.
I think 5 is the number. That's what I would say. 5 is probably the number. If you exceed 5, you probably get that first round bye. And a bye, if anybody doesn't know what a bye is, you don't have to actually play any games, right? In like American sports, you get your top seeds usually are 1 and 2 seeds get a bye week. You don't have to play the first round of playoffs. That's basically what this is for Champions League. I think it's top 8 teams don't have to play that first round, I believe.
Yeah.
So 5 games, you probably are on the border, and that's what I assume. 6 and above, you might be making that cusp of top 8.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm excited for a Champions League to come back, but if we see a huge rotation and we end up losing that game, even if we don't see a rotation and we end up losing that game, I wouldn't be too bummed out about it.
No, I don't think it's... Last year, we didn't have a huge rotation for our Champions League games. Not until the very end when we had it sewed up. So I don't expect a huge rotation. It's just because of the way the fixtures are set up now. Like that Thursday to Sunday makes a difference to me. It is cool. Like we're obviously going to have Rice back. He's going to start 100%. He's starting in the midfield.
Do you think Neto gets in for Raya, or is Raya running the Champions League?
Run it. Raya runs it. He's in form, man. Don't take him out the goal. He's hot. He's hot right now. Keep him in.
Okay, that's fair. Do you have a score prediction? Because like I said, I think 1-0, but if I were to listen to my heart, I'm starting to see a 3-1 somewhere out there in the universe, dude.
Wow. I'm going to go for a draw. Either a 1-1 or a 2-2.
Or a 0-0, honestly. I wouldn't mind a 0-0.
I just think, I don't know why, I just feel like a draw. They're probably good defensively. I didn't watch any of their games. Like against the Liverpool one would have been a good one to watch. I just assume they're really good defensively and play on the counter. Draw for me.
Draw's a good shout. All right. I think that's mostly everything we were going to cover today. And Oh, we went a little over an hour on this beat, so I'm feeling pretty good, man. What about you?
100%. I mean, it's 3 points. 3 points from Spuds, right where we want them. Back to big things, Arsenal. I gotta give the shout out. It's like the first time we've won 3 games in their place, like 3 in a row, since like I don't think Arsenal ever did it, which is crazy.
No,
So
I don't
shout
think
out
I was
Mikel.
alive the last time we won
So
3
shout
times
out
away.
Mikel, man. That's it. Shout out Mikel. He's putting his name in the record books. Now we just got to get the trophies, baby.
I love it, dude. Shout out to the manager. Shout out to everyone who spent time listening to us. We appreciate it. Enjoy the week. Keep riding these high vibes. Have no fear about Thursday. And we'll see you on the other side.
Be easy.